Okay. And then, do you know how to let participants in?
Give them about what, 3 more
Okay.
minutes?
They put all like food and
So Zach is there.
We're from downstairs.
Yeah.
Is this our
We got
best
food.
kind of background?
Do you not think it's the clip?
That'll do. That's
Okay.
that's nice. That'll do.
I love your top.
Oh, thank you.
They're right after you're right. Or it's literally a suite just like this, right beneath this.
It's our new, going to be our new company shirt. Ryan and I are
There you go.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have
our
to wear it,
sizes.
Sure,
Yeah.
just bring up this.
Looking for a 2XL right now.
The
It's
shoes, the blue shoes I was gonna wear are like those shoes.
too. Oh, you were?
A
Yeah.
little higher and then have a little.
I like those.
diamonds
I
across.
like those though.
Thank you.
It's cute.
As I said, it was so fun with Joni and Governor Reynolds because we're talking about manicures, pedicures, hair,
Mhm.
makeup, types of lipstick, so it doesn't run.
I love it.
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be glossed. And I'm going, you talk about that with the guys and like they think you're whining.
Yeah.
how tall is Joni? Is
She's
she
probably 5'3",
5'3"?
I would
Okay.
think.
Yeah, I had my picture taken with, we were out in DC last year, but I was kind of in the back row. There's a shocker, with her compared to her, but I can't remember if she was like 1 inch, 2 inches taller than you, or
Where were you seeing Carson being called?
It was on Decision Desk.
Who do I need to send congratulations to?
I got all the contacts.
Oh, Ohio's close. How much was in?
55.
Okay, come on, gotta pull it up there.
Well, the ticker is running down.
They only have 8% in Pennsylvania. Okay, that doesn't tell you.
That doesn't tell you anything.
Okay.
Biden won Delaware though.
That was gonna be it.
No, Trump won Rhode Island.
No. That was Biden won Rhode Island.
I thought it said Trump had 50 something.
They had the check mark next to Biden anyway.
No, but-
They've done.
but They had Trump with 50 something percent.
Yeah, they've done that. They've called some of these races.
Oh man, is Warren gonna win? No, it's only 3%.
Yeah, they've done some of these where they've called the race and you look and it's like they've got Biden at 38% and
What room What room number is that? So I
Yeah.
can tell Kurt. 445.
Very end of the hallway.
Below us.
2 minutes and 17 seconds. Thank you, sir. You take such good care of me.
Kurt said he was gonna go wander around. He didn't. I don't think he's gonna come up this room.
Yeah, North Carolina's been like with 55% of the vote in,
Yeah, but that's the urban area stuff.
Yeah. and they haven't called it, so that tells you a lot.
North
right there.
Carolina is probably a better situation than Ohio because North Carolina, it's more early voting that's driving the Biden totals up. In Ohio,
I mean, we're gonna see the same thing with our race.
yeah.
We'll be behind.
76% chance of carrying North Carolina.
He had what?
76% chance.
Who, Biden or Trump? That's how I think. Gosh, I was hoping Sean Parnell would win in Pennsylvania, but it's early yet, so
What about Sean Hamlin?
anything can happen. Depends on how much Trump carries Iowa. So
Okay.
what's the,
So far, we've only got 3 folks here. I'm going to admit we have Zach.
Okay.
We have Tom Barton from the Quad City Times, and your personal friend,
Oh, God.
Kate Payne.
Oh.
Had to do it.
it's okay,
All right.
I don't care. What can they do now? Ask about the increasing COVID-19 cases?
17 on
Check, check.
Is that Zach?
Hi, Eric. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing.
I'm going to turn my seat over to Dr. Miller-Meeks, and looks like we got, there we go. Looks like we've got about 10 minutes of her time, so I'm going to get out of the way and let her chat with you before the polls close.
Hello.
Oh,
Do you have a gallery view? Is that working for you? Do you want me to admit Kay Henderson?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, if you all want to fire away, anybody have any questions this evening? Fire away.
Okay, Senator Miller-Meeks, how are you feeling?
I feel very good. I feel comfortable. I think we've run an extremely good campaign. We were, I think, very concrete on the issues that we were running upon. We had a good ground game, given that we're in a pandemic. So we feel comfortable. I feel comfortable going in to election night, and the poll should close around 9 o'clock. So I think it'll be a little bit of a long night, which we expect all throughout the country.
Certainly. And so, Senator, since 2016, it seems that the president has lost ground in a lot of states, including Iowa. How concerned are you that those trends could negatively affect down ballot races like your own?
Well, so far we've seen the momentum in our race on our side. So as I said, I feel very comfortable going into election night. I've been comfortable all day today. Even volunteered my time today at the Wapello County Public Health Department to help do contact tracing. And as I said, we were out engaging with voters, meeting with voters. We were door knocking. We've had a very concrete message. I think people know why I'm running and what I have to offer. I have a resume that's unparalleled in this race and even throughout the country. To have a military veteran, a doctor, and a former director of the State Department of Public Health that can help navigate through healthcare, through the pandemic, pre-position supplies, and safely reopen the economy and continue the gains that we have recently made. And I think we've done a very good job of getting that message out. And given my resume, people know my resume, they know my background, and they know that I'm never going to quit on them. I'm not going to quit on them. I'm not going to quit on their future, the American dream. And I will take that same voice and fight for them in Congress.
Senator, this is Tom Barton with the Quad City Times. You may have addressed this a little bit already, but if elected to the seat, what will your election mean for the people of this district?
I think the people know that they get someone who listens and who doesn't just make an appearance, but they listen. They listen with their ears, their heart, and their brain. They take that, someone may be mute, but they take that voice for them to Congress, someone who will fight for them, who will never quit or give up on them, and has the ability to be able to be a voice and a persuader and influencer in Congress to move us forward.
And then a follow-up question to that, I guess, what would you say has been the focal point of your campaign, and how do you feel that's benefited Iowans this election cycle?
Well, the focal point of our campaign, we started October 1st of last year talking about issues such as healthcare, the necessity for healthcare to be accessible, but also portable, to be affordable, and to allow people to have choice rather than putting bureaucrats in between you and your doctor. We talked about skills training, apprenticeships, trade schools in high school, vocational training, so that we can prepare our workforce for the 21st century. Trade, free, fair trade that doesn't disadvantage the United States, and it allows us to be able to compete around the globe. And we also talked about trust in government and government accountability. Now you add throw in a pandemic, and the same issues applied throughout the campaign in the pandemic, and we've continued to talk about those issues all throughout the campaign. I think because we had a singular focus on those issues, and someone who has a history of coming from very humble background and circumstances, but never giving up, continuing to fight, failing, but when you fail, you get back up. I think that story resonates with a lot of people. And when you talk about those issues, they know they have a fighter that's going to be able to deliver for them.
I guess another follow-up, if not successful tonight, I guess any idea what your future plans are, and where do you go from here with the issues and the messages that you've raised in this campaign?
I'll continue to fight for the issues. I will continue to be in the state Senate if unsuccessful. So I'll continue to be able to work within my caucus to do the same things I've done the past 2 years, which is to pass legislation aimed at lowering prescription drug prices, to pass legislation, get passed through the House for oral contraceptives over the counter, pass legislation to prevent insurance companies from non-medical switching of medications, gaining access to care, removing pre-authorizations and barriers to care. So I would continue to do that. And in all likelihood, I would, rejoin ophthalmology practice and do some medical mission work that I've wanted to do for a long time. But probably tomorrow would be taking down barn signs.
If we're to look at the success of your campaign, you've been with each race, you've sort of minimized the margin of defeat, right? And that's sort of on a trajectory to this race. If we're looking for places where your campaign spent a lot of time, a lot of its ground game trying to move the dial, where should we be looking? Should be what cities, what counties? Are there particular districts that you really tried to sort of bring your message to, really tried to recruit for to support your candidacy?
Well, I think on the eastern part of the state, we certainly focused a lot of time and attention in Scott County, Clinton County, Muscatine, and then Des Moines County. So those counties we focused time and attention on, our media attention as well too, which makes sense. It's the biggest population part of the state. It also happens to be where my opponent is from. And so I think it makes sense to have a concentrated effort in that area. It's where we did a lot of door knocking, but honestly, we didn't ignore any part of the state or any part of the district. I think it's important for people to know that no matter how small, no matter how large, that their voice matters. And it's important to be able to have your representation and know that they're accessible and they're available. So, we were on digital, we were in person. As you know, we just finished our 24 county barnstorming tour on Friday, and then Saturday we joined Senator Joni Ernst and Governor Kim Reynolds for part of their tour within our district. So we've been, very vocal, very outspoken, very available to the voters.
Kay Henderson has a question. She's asking, how has the district and district changed since your first race, and how has that impacted this year's race?
So Kay is asking, how has the district changed since my first race and how has it changed here? Well, the district has been trending more Republican. As we know, President Trump won this district in 2016, whereas President Obama had carried it in other districts. I think having the pandemic has been an interesting kind of, I don't know if you'd call it an advantage or disadvantage, but it just makes a different campaign and a lot of other things to consider as you're campaigning. And being a state senator has made a difference. When the pandemic started, I didn't have the luxury of staying at home. I was out helping serve my constituents. We tried to help organize people to how they could volunteer in the pandemic, deliver food to people that were homebound or couldn't get out. We tried to help organize college students and high school students, how they could do free babysitting for those people that were essential workers, be they healthcare, and donating blood. So we helping people get PPE. Our hospitals volunteered for our hospitals should they have a surge. We also help people get unemployment stimulus and then PPP. So we did all of that in the context of a district that has been changing and trending more Republican. that President Trump carried in 2016, and it's an open seat. So let's not forget that. It is very different when you're not running against an incumbent.
Time for one more question.
Yeah, if I can, early in the pandemic, you were sort of really trying to weigh whether or not in-person campaigning was going to be something you were going to get involved in, right? I mean, I know you eventually decided to. You mentioned that you didn't have the luxury of staying home. It wasn't until I think August or September, I think that the Hart campaign began doing in-person events. Can you tell me about why you thought it was important to come out so early, and can you tell me about how you guys went about mitigating risk, right? Having attended a couple of these, right? I mean, there were quite a few people who opted not to wear masks, right? I'm thinking of the Johnson County, Coralville visited a week ago. Can you tell me about like how you went about mitigating harm in those cases, and sort of why what that did for your campaign moving forward?
We didn't, early on in the campaign in March through July, we did very little in-person events, as you mentioned. When we went back into the Senate and we resumed our legislative session, as you know, no one had gotten ill during that legislative session. So from our standpoint, how we approached it, we asked people to wear masks. We suggested people wear masks. We encouraged it. I would wear a mask except when I was speaking. And also, I think, looking at the whole scientific dynamics of COVID-19 and who it affects and how it affects them and who are the asymptomatic carriers. So looking at all of that, we also, in events that we were hosting, would do temperature checking. So we would check people's temperature. We would have hand sanitizer. We would have masks available for individuals to wear masks. I am not aware of anyone who has become ill at any of the events that I attended. So I'd say that we were able to navigate that very safely. We also tried to space people out as much as possible, and I certainly would keep my distance. And we did have contact, or not contact with people, but I know of people who have tested positive since then. I was in Washington County, and there were a couple of individuals there who had already had COVID-19, had overcome it. And then other things, I think your basic health is very important. So I know it sounds dumb, but I'm a doctor. And so vitamin C and vitamin D, I think, were very important. Just keeping myself healthy, I think, was an important part of, keeping the whole campaign team healthy.
Okay, thanks, guys. We really appreciate it, and we'll be in touch
Thank
later
you very
this
much.
evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Senator,